thanks a lot for agreeing to do this interview with us. It's a pleasure for us to, interview you for today's, specifically for today's topic that is on the relevance of MBA in the year 2023. Ma'am, to begin the interview with, you have been in the industry for the past 10 plus years. Before that, you had a very lucrative career in the corporate world. What made you come to the academics, and why did you choose the path of academia?
Jelda, one, of course, I worked in the corporate for about 17 years. That child passion for teaching, that was always there. As a child, I always wanted to become a teacher. But then as you continued studying, went in for my graduation, post-graduation, did my MBA. And then, the corporate career was something that was in front of me. So I worked for about 17 years with the corporate, but in that also I kept on, looking at opportunities where I could train the field staff, or I could train people in the organization. And then one always thinks of a plan B, keeping in mind the kind of personal requirements, as my child was growing. And then it was like, what would be good? What is that's going to keep me a little stationary? Otherwise, my corporate career was quite, that involved a lot of traveling, because I was with marketing, and I was the general manager marketing with an FMCG company when I left the industry. And then I thought, what better than academics, which would at least keep me stationary, and I would remain in a city. And then, of course, that passion for teaching was there. And that's how the plan B rolled out. And I started as a visiting faculty along with my corporate career. So it was a slow migration into academics. And so I started with a visiting faculty, continued as a visiting faculty for almost 4 years. And then from there became a full-time faculty, grew in the system from a visiting faculty to a full-time faculty, and then of course associate dean, and then the director.
Got it. So Dr. Pritee, as somebody who has been connected with the corporate world and now who is, heading B school, what do you think are the most relevant skills? If you had to name 3 relevant skills that every MBA needs to have in today's competitive world in order to flourish in their career, what according to you are those skills?
See, the organizations would always define it as attitude, the desire to learn, and good communication skills. I would call more than attitude, I think it's the behavior, the overall behavior, the way you conduct yourself. And that is where I would say that it's not just attitude, but it's also your interpersonal skills, the way you deal with not just peers, but also the clients, the seniors, maybe people down below. So you're dealing with people working in a team, along with the desire to learn would be another one, and of course good communication skills. By good communication skills, I'm not just talking vocabulary or articulation or fluency, but it also means the tone and the tonality of communication.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, could you share a bit more insights on how IBS is fine-tuning its programs in order to make sure these particular skills that you've listed out are part and being provided to the students so that they can have a very fulfilling career once they start into the corporate world or take the avenue of entrepreneurship?
Yeah. See, there is a lot of emphasis on soft skills. When we talk of soft skills, I'm very clearly demarcating soft skills from employability skills. So at IBS, the focus would be on both soft skills as well as employability skills. And if somebody has to say that are the two different, yes, the two are different. And you would need soft skills for the employability skills, and employability skills are something that can be taught and transferred. And for that, right from the semester 1, the kind of syllabus that we have. So the semester 1 would take care of business communication. Semester 2 would take care of personal effectiveness. And that is something that goes, to actually make the students know themselves and understand that what are the kind of roles that they would fit in, which means that they know their temperaments, they know the roles, and they try and map themselves to the the kind of roles that they would want to get into. And then, of course, in the third semester, we have something called as the corporate connect, and which is more to do with soft skills, and that continues through the third and the fourth semester. So, a lot of emphasis with almost something like 40 sessions per semester devoted to each of these modules.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, you have always been actively involved, specifically in terms of placement. You are also heading the placement at ICFAI Mumbai, and somebody who's been, connected with the corporate world as well. What, according to you, and being part of, a metropolitan city like Mumbai, what, according to you, are the 3 attributes that recruiters look for in candidates, when they're hiring for different posts? So, what is that common thing, irrespective of, role-based skills, that employees are very keen when they come for recruitment at your institution and in general also?
See, these days, more and more recruiters have started looking at a combination of domain knowledge and IT skills. So that IT skills is something which we have to now embed into every domain subject that we are teaching. So be it marketing specialization or HR or finance or even operations, in every domain, every elective that we have, there are special sessions devoted to IT skills. Today we have more IT labs than a library. So for very, very specific trainings that get into preparing students to handle the tools and softwares that the companies are using. So IT skills is what most of the companies are looking along with the domain. Of course, the way the student approaches the role. So that is where one definition, one line description that I get is they should be problem solvers. So that's another thing that they want, that students should be coming with the mindset of problem solving. And third, which they call it as storytelling, I think it's more to do with the way you present reports or the way you present the findings to the clients, especially if you are working in a service industry.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, when we look at ICFAI or IBS, we students usually have this great understanding of the commendable multi-dimensional approach that you have, specifically wherein you're using case-based learning, business model simulation in order to embed the skills that the corporate is currently looking forward to. How do you think these? How is your institution making sure that these elements are being pushed across to the students, and ensuring that highly potential individuals are nurtured in a way that they're turning out to be great leaders in the business world?
Right. I see more and more companies looking at something called as the scenario analysis. So they will come with special selection round called as scenario analysis, which I think my students can do very well because of the case method of teaching. So when they are analyzing a case, at that time, the kind of research mindset that they develop, that first they find out the facts from the case, then they analyze what is the problem. Are all cases problem solution kind of cases, or they're just narratives? Is that a decision making case? So there are various types and categories of cases that the students go through in the 4th semester. Every domain subject would have at least 8 to 10 cases. If not long cases, there would be small caselets which are developed by the faculty themselves based on the kind of business environment that is prevailing around. So they go with the latest business scenarios to class and discuss those scenarios and the implications. So what is very important is when they're analyzing a case, are they discussing the implications and how it is going to impact the decision-making process and the outcome of the decision-making? And this is something which we prepare the students so that when they get into the corporates, they should be able to get into those decision-making roles and get onto the leadership roles also.
Got it, ma'am. That's quite actually very well put, specifically in understanding how case-based learning is actually helping students solve real business problems. So thanks a lot for that, ma'am. So, ma'am, currently in the education domain or in the education industry, we're looking at a lot of chatter around the fact that, MBA might be transitioning from being a management degree to now being a skill expert degree. What are your thoughts on it? And do you agree with this statement?
Yeah, see, management was, of course, one of the courses. If we look at the, the genesis of this course, and if we look at the book written by Shrikant Datar talking about rethinking MBA and reimagining MBA, and it very clearly says, that it's a course where there is the knowing, doing, and the being. All three things put together. So the concepts is something which are dealt with in a very elaborate manner till the graduation level, but how to take those concepts to application is something that the management courses teach. And that is where I feel that if this differentiation is not there, I don't think so there is going to be a marked difference between a graduation learning and a post-graduation learning, especially when it comes to business education. And that is where skill building has to be a very, very important element in management education.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, IBS is a brand that is known for various quality education aspects, including your state-of-the-art infrastructure, your renowned faculty, and so on. What, according to you, ma'am, are the three secrets of your institution that are not much known to the students? However, you would want the students to know more about, because you feel that is something that is going to really benefit students get the futuristic skills that the business leaders are looking for.
Here, I would like to tell something about the founder of the ICFAI Business School. He had a vision, he had a philosophy, and that is late Shri Mr. N.J. Yashasvi. He believed that we should get into education, create a niche for ourselves where we impart quality education at an affordable price. And there he said that there is a lot of talented youth which is in the interiors of the country, actually craving for good quality education, and they are not able to get it. Simple reasons that they can't travel out of those places, or they may not have the affordability. But can we work towards imparting quality education at an affordable price and reach education to those masses who are actually aspiring to be there? And with that vision, he started with the CFA program and then the MBA, the management education. All of us now carry that legacy, and we work towards that can we give quality management education? And this is something which I think that those who are getting into the management system of IBS may not be aware. But this was the philosophy, and each and everyone working for IBS system is driven by this philosophy.
Got it, ma'am. It's a very interesting thing that you spoke about the philosophy part of it, which is something that students quite often miss out. There's a huge trend that is currently going across in the MBA community, the aspirant community, wherein students are very driven by the rankings or the placement stats and so on, without really looking into what the values of the school stand for, and specifically if they align with the objective that you are looking forward from the degree. So thanks a lot, ma'am, for sharing these insights with us. Ma'am, my next question is, we understand that, as I said, there are multiple institutions that are offering MBA, be it in the Indian domain or be it at the global level. We see a lot of institutions offering similar degrees, and that at times can confuse the aspirants that are looking forward to choosing the right degree and the right B school for themselves. Ma'am, according to you, what should be the 5 categories or factors that an MBA aspirant should consider when they're looking for shortlisting a B school for themselves?
Yeah, see, today the students have multiple sources to look up for the image and the reputation of a B school, and I'm sure most of them are looking at one or two or three of the criterias, like what kind of rankings that the institution has. Is it a AICT approved institution or not, or what is the placement record, or what is the kind of faculty quality or faculty qualifications the MBA institute has. I always feel that the student needs to go a little deeper and find out something that none of these rankings are going to be looking at, and they will not even take into account, because they generally, the criteria and the parameters would be around the infrastructure. It would be about some kind of research papers coming out of an institute, or what kind of facilities that the institute is giving. But I think very important is which most rankings miss out, and that is the student teacher connect. And that student teacher connect, which becomes a little intangible, difficult to measure. But I think if one has to look into that, and the students need to find that out, that what is the kind of student teacher relationship that a B school has. And I think that will give them the right insight into choosing a good B school.
Got it, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I agree with the fact that, you mentioned the student-teacher connect. That is a very important factor that plays a significant role in, creating young business entrepreneurs or young professionals. Specifically because what students are currently doing is they're getting fascinated by the fact that, the college is offering the most updated tech-related infrastructure, curriculum that is more related to tech. But what you're not remembering is the fundamentals of management still remains the same. They're still going to be applicable 10 years, 20 years down the line. These technological aspects could disappear within few years. I mean, I remember
they keep upgrading, they keep evolving.
Java was once upon a time a very, very important skill set, which is now appearing to be disappeared. And so, yes, ma'am, that makes a lot of sense. And thanks a lot for sharing this great insights with our readers and our viewers for today. Ma'am, my last question is, as a leader of a very prominent B school in Mumbai, you must have come across and, as well as helped nurture various leaders who are having prominent positions in the corporate as well as the other aspects of life. What, according to you, ma'am, are the greatest qualities of a good leader? And how would you define a good leader if you were asked to?
Yeah, I keep telling the students that, if you really want to grow and become a leader, listen to what the people around you are saying, rather than you putting what you have in mind. It is always better that you listen to people, and you will always come up with something that could either accommodate the views of most of the people around you, and that's the best influence that you can have as a leader. So listening becomes one of those primary things which anyone would say that listening is such a simple thing. What is so big about it? But a good leader has to be a good listener. The moment you listen, there is a very deep intent that gets established, that you have an intent to serve the people around. When you are listening to them, you are connecting with them, and people think that you are there to be on their side. And once people start feeling that you are on their side, people keep moving towards you, and they come closer to you, and that's how you win hearts. And when you win hearts, it's a little easy to rule them.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for sharing these insights with us. Ma'am, my last question is, do you have any advice for the students, MBA aspirants who are currently looking forward to applying to IBS and ICFAI for the upcoming admission cycle?
Yeah. no shortcut to to hard work, and they should have faith in whatever they are doing, not lose out on the span of interest is so short that they lose confidence, and they feel that they feel that nothing is as good, and they keep switching and moving to different things. As a result, they are not able to acquire expertise in one thing, and they need to give time, and they need to stay with something to be called as experts and masters in their field.
Got it, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Is there any question that you feel we should have asked you that you would like to answer?
I think you have covered what the students need to know, how recruiters are selecting, what goes into a ranking, and what we as IBS are doing to make that difference. And I think that we are a very, very agile system, and that's where we are even ready now with the new education policy coming. How does our management program undergo a change with the new education policy? So I'll use a word, that we are very, very agile to the kind of market forces, and we adapt ourselves to that.
Got it, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for agreeing to do this discussion with us. It was wonderful having a conversation with you. I'm sure our users are going to be having a really good, insightful information out of this conversation. So with that, ma'am, I would like to sign off. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.